Welcome, everyone. Just waiting on Blake. Just waiting on my team to come in. Blake should be in hopefully any minute. I know he has busy days. Hopefully Blake will be here in any minute. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Oh, there he is. Hi, Blake.
Here I am. Sorry about my tardiness. I apologize.
That's all right.
Have you kept everybody entertained?
No one's here yet, so we're good.
Oh, okay. Good. Welcome. It's good to see you. How was your day?
Good. Busy, but good.
Yeah.
So, yep. And welcome to Just Winging with Blake and Jamie. So,
Hello.
what did you eat
I am.
tonight?
I haven't eaten yet, but I'm gonna eat a Sonic burger that I bought at lunchtime that I didn't eat, and
Mm.
so I'm gonna eat that.
Well, I had like they gave me access to the physician lounge now, and I was like, oh
Oh
my gosh,
yeah.
that's so. Before I left, I get like when I leave at 5 o'clock, there's like really nothing in there, but there's like the little tiny salads or whatever. So I grabbed a salad and some Lay's potato chips. So that's what I ate for dinner.
Oh wow.
But
Mm.
I had a really nice lunch. I had chicken, baked beans, green beans, and
Oh
there's a couple
man.
other things. I forget what else, but there's a couple other things. So I had a really nice lunch. So I can't complain.
For
I'm
lunch,
spoiled
I
now.
went crazy. I went crazy for lunch. Like that's why I have leftovers from Sonic. I bought a chili cheese dog, chili cheese
Mm,
tots. I bought a chicken sandwich, and I bought what else did I get? Um, I got something else. What else I can't remember what else I got. I got something else too, and it was
wow.
all really good. Oh, I got a breakfast burrito, a bacon and egg breakfast
Oh
burrito.
wow, yum.
So
Yeah.
I just went down and I ate it all.
Yeah. So now even the food sucks so bad here in the hotel that I like haven't been eating the breakfast food here. I haven't taken any of it.
I've never been a big fan of like breakfast eggs at a hotel. They're never any good, or the bacon like it's just it never hits. Like I like the sausage sometimes though. I could eat a lot of the sausage. Just give me a bunch of maple syrup and I'm good.
That's what Ken did when he came. He tried the eggs and he goes, "Yep, I had some egg pudding because they didn't even cook them all
Ugh.
the way." Yeah, he's like, "They're disgusting." I'm like, "Yeah, I've never had them here." And I, after they like sat there and told me that I take too much food because I took a sandwich and
What?
yeah, like the lady was like saying that I can't take the food because I was putting it in my backpack. I took one sausage sandwich, two milks, coffee, and a juice, and she said I'm taking too much and I'm being not being courteous. And I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
that's not even that much
I'd have been
food.
like, lady, with how much money my company has paid your hotel, I think I can do this.
I told her, I'm like, what do you mean it's too much food? And no, I said, no, it's not. And she's like, well, you can't put it in your bag either. And I'm like, you don't have any to go containers. Where am I supposed? I have to go to work. And so I
Oh.
filed a complaint with the manager and they got better, but the food's not even worth taking anyway. So I stopped taking it because I never ate it anyway because it's gross. Even the sausage sandwich that's packaged, it's like
Oh
chalky
God.
or something or whatever. So, but
Gross.
now I have access to the physician lounge. So now I get a real breakfast, I can get a real lunch, and then I take a little something to go for dinner.
I will say the hotel that me and Natalie stayed in on the Riverwalk while we were in San Antonio, it was so good. We had breakfast there and yeah, it was really good. Oh, I could eat there all day long.
Well, it's on the Riverwalk, so that tells you right there they're going to have good food. They're going to have good food at that hotel.
And they had like a pizza restaurant right outside the door. Like it
Oh
was
wow,
good. Yeah, it was really good. Mhm.
wow.
Did I tell you we got a new puppy? Did I tell you
Uh
that? No. Look, here's her little sleepy head. Look.
uh. Aww. is, is it a he or she?
It's a she. Her name is Chloe.
She's like, what are you doing? Get that camera off me.
Oh goodness, that's so funny. She ain't even got her mouth open. Oh man. All the dogs just saw too much.
They're like, hey, I
Yeah.
want to get involved.
I want attention.
What about me?
Little fatty, she's sleepy. Look, it's so funny. She's got her little legs crossed. Look.
Just chilling. Is she
Just
already
chilling.
potty trained?
We're working on it. Not really.
Yeah, that's the worst part about puppies. They're so cute, but
Oh
man, to try to get them trained. Oh,
gosh, and this one's like a hound, so they're real stubborn. You gotta beat
man.
them. That you gotta like they're the cutest dogs and they're really smart once you train them. But that the most of them they're a lot bigger than like Lucy, and this one has like half dachshund too. So it's loud, annoying, and it's cute. Like you just can't there ain't nothing you could do with this one. Oh man. Anyway, well, Perhaps probably the biggest trade in sports history happened over the weekend. Uh,
Uh-oh.
Luka Doncic, uh, uh, Dallas Maverick, gets traded to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis, a couple picks, or a pick, a first round pick, and two other players, Max something and another guy. I can't remember their names exactly. A huge trade. Anthony Davis was who they got in return. That was the big choice. I just, man, this really shook up. Never in the history of the NBA have two all-star players, a first team all-stars, been traded for each other. It's just it's unprecedented. It's never happened before. So either this is going to blow up in the Lakers or in the Dallas Mavericks face, or it's going to be the best trade they ever pulled off. They have to either go back to the finals, or, I mean, going to the Western Conference Finals is probably the goal here. Um, I mean, it's just championship or bust for those guys this year. They were what they lacked was a big man, and they had all the shooters in the world, so they get rid of Luka Doncic. Honestly, arguably a top five player in the NBA. Like you pick the five best players, Luka Doncic is on there somewhere, and so we'll see. I'm curious to see what happens. Um, that's about it. Who you going for the Super Bowl? Are you gonna even watch it? I'm not watching it.
I don't watch football.
Well,
When is it?
I
Is it
am
this
this
Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah.
How come
Yeah.
you're not going to be watching it?
Because I feel like there is no validity in the outcome of the games.
What do you mean?
I feel like that the NFL has a script or a narrative that they would like to achieve, and they will do that by using bad referee calls at certain points in the game to give a certain team an advantage to be there. So I feel like until they do that, fix that, I will be watching the NFL as if it were the WWE. The wins and the losses don't matter. Just watch some cool athleticism and really cool catches and stuff like that and be entertained by it, but don't take it as true.
Well, they always say vote with your pocketbook, and by
That's
not
right.
watching it,
That's how you get them. That's how you get
yep,
them. So
exactly. So who's actually playing?
it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs will be playing each
Ah,
other. And so, yeah, I don't really care. I don't care who
wow.
wins or
Th-
loses. It doesn't
This is
matter to me. It's quite literally one team that I despise as a Cowboy fan, and the other one that I simply don't. It's not that I don't like the team or the fan base or anything like that. It's just I don't feel like they are the best team in the AFC, and they got there because somebody helped them get there, and that would be the refs. I feel like
oh,
they gave them calls at a favorable time that would help them or diminish the it's all about runs. It's all about momentum. Like the it's not about how many or what the penalty look like. It's when they happen, and they're at crucial moments in the game that change the momentum. And it's just so blatantly obvious. It's happened so many times this year that there's so much money in the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. It's just unreal. because Taylor Swift is the most famous music artist in the world right now. It's not even close. Like, she's billions and billions of streams on Spotify.
Ah,
She's been the number one holding the list for over a year now. She's just the numbers don't lie. So whenever you take all of those people and you interact them with the NFL, there's a lot more money there. There's a lot more fan base. There's a lot more merchandise sell. There's a lot more ticket sales. There's the views, the this, the that, the streams, the everything. The money is so high for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl that Roger Goodell would be a fool not to put his thumb into it some way. Roger Goodell is the commissioner of the NFL. And
got
he
it.
should have heard his interview and his smuck face that he made. I just can't stand that guy.
Well,
And Travis Kelsey really doesn't like it because you can see it in the interviews that he's been given, and they're asking him how he feels about the referee calls, and it just irritates him. It gets him mad, no one's more mad than a guilty conscience. You know what I mean? And this
yeah,
guy is raging. So that's how I feel about the Super Bowl. The teams, I just don't feel that it's, no matter what happens, the team that won is not the team that should. I'm ready to put a lot of money on it that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
oh, you got a good point there. But hello, it's Simple Meals. Thanks for coming in, Alyssa and Ken. Thank you all for coming in and joining us.
All our good close friends. I love you
Yes,
guys.
yes, we do.
And
And
keep
I
the
don't know,
lights on.
but everyone, if you pray, let's pray for Paprika. I don't want to share anything because I don't know what I can, but we need some prayers for her.
Yes,
So I
absolutely.
but
She's a good
um
friend of ours. She watches our stream regularly. We love you, Paprika, and we're all thinking of you. And we
yeah,
care certainly. I've always appreciated your interaction, and you seem like a really nice lady. I wish you lived closer so we could get together and hang out with you guys, all of you. I wish you lived a
yeah,
lot closer too, but
I know,
yeah,
right?
but shout out to Paprika. We are thinking of you, lovely.
Yes. Hi, Dee Dee. Thanks for coming in. But all right, so Blake and I already talked about what we ate. What did all of you eat tonight?
Sonic Burger coming soon in my near future. If you didn't hear.
And he gave us his spiel of the Super Bowl.
Sorry about that, you know, 15-minute rambling session of how I felt
No,
about the NFL.
that's fine. Walmart pizza again, and Dee Dee had leftovers. Hey, leftovers are good most of the time. I love my leftovers. I'll take
Me
it.
too. I I'm about to eat leftovers from lunch right now too. Call it. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I just ain't touched it yet.
All right,
So,
everybody. We were supposed to review My Girl.
man.
So, first off, what's
Mm.
the rating out of 1 to 4?
Well, this is Macaulay Culkin's like on-screen smash. This is what sends him into superstardom as a child star. He soon goes on to make Home Alone. Uh, he made Richie Rich. Just these movies that made him a, a household name. Everybody knew him because ultimately My Girl was the one that kick-started his whole career. And I feel bad for him as a person because he never really had a childhood growing up. He was just a star his entire life. So you saw how that transitioned into his early teens, and later years he was conflicting with drugs and alcohol abuse, and he's finally come through all that. He looks great. He's a great person now. You should check out I follow him on Instagram. I love Macaulay Culkin. Everybody called me Macaulay whenever I was a kid, and I never understood it. Because to me, he was always Kevin. That's what I knew him as. So he was Kevin. But I saw Home Alone a million times before I saw My Girl. So I wouldn't say that this is his apex. This is what the movies like got him everything else that he got. But this wasn't his best movie. I would say Home Alone was his best. But
Simple Meals and Ken say a 3. Ken says great story with lots of mechanics working for it, but some scenes were drawn out. Yeah, and I think I give it a 3 as well. But the reason I did is because really, did they have to make him die? They could have still like done the movie without him dying.
no, because I just don't think that the movie would have been that heavy. It wouldn't have. It
Yeah,
wouldn't have. It wouldn't have meant as much if he's not dead. It would have just been another story that you've seen, and average ratings wouldn't have been talked about a lot. That was the part of the movie that made it so iconic. So I disagree 100%. I think this is a girl who didn't understand death really. She was around it. To her, that's the thing about it, that it was so normal. She didn't really understand the gravity of it until it was somebody close to her. You know what I
yeah,
mean? She didn't
yeah.
understand it. She didn't understand it in growing up and learning about it. She understood it by experiencing it in real life, in real time, what the grief and the sadness and the heartache was, that all came with death along with it. And it's so
That's true.
sad. Her mother died in childbirth 2 days, I think it said 2 days after she gave birth to her mom, or to
Beta.
Veda, thank you. Isn't that such a cool name too? I love
Yeah.
that name. Never heard that again. But
Well, and she's like portrayed as like a tomboy, which is good. Okay, thanks, Simple Meals. Have a good night.
see
Um,
ya. Thank you.
but you know, and think about why she probably is, and it's probably because she was raised with her father because she didn't have a mother until Jamie Lee Curtis comes in and is
Right.
trying to help her, and even
That's
like
her first. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That was
oh
her
nice.
first experience of a mother figure. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, especially in the period scene, when she's like, "I'm
Yeah.
hemorrhaging,"
I'm
she's like,
hemorrhaging.
Let's go have a talk."
Yeah, that was really good. Her conflict with her at the beginning, I loved it. Like the bumper car scene was really funny.
Hmm.
Try like at first it was all fun and games, and she's like just giving her this death stare. Like she got that down to a T.
Yes, she
Man.
did. She did good portraying that. That's for sure.
And uh Jamie Lee Curtis looks so beautiful in this movie. I thought she's so pretty. This is what do you think of Dan Aykroyd? What's your favorite Dan Aykroyd movie?
Mine is The Great Outdoors
Really?
because I,
Hmm.
I just love that movie. And I don't know if I like it more because of John Candy, but I
Yeah.
love that movie. So I would have to say The Great Outdoors with
Yeah,
Dan Aykroyd.
Mr. Aykroyd is he's your cameo legend. He's the guy that you just kind of stick in your movie and it works no matter what he does. He
I
was
mean,
in Olympus Has Fallen. You remember that? He was one of the generals in
oh,
it.
was he?
Yeah,
Oh,
he played one of the generals in Olympus Has Fallen. Um,
um, I
he
remember
played,
Gerard Butler, but
yeah, of course you did. How could you forget him? um, uh, the movie that I first experienced with Dan Aykroyd Sorry, I got a phone
Okay.
call.
Oh, okay.
um, uh, the first movie that I got with him was a Britney Spears movie. My sister watched it all the time, so I remember watching it when I was a little kid. It was called Crossroads. Did you ever see that movie?
Mm-mm.
Well, growing up and watching it again, it's not a very good movie. It's a total chick flick, and I was just a kid, and my sister had it and watched it all the time, and so I watched it too. But that's when Britney Spears was like really famous, and uh, Dan Aykroyd plays her dad in the movie. So that was the first experience that I had with him, and then ever since then, I've just seen him in all this other stuff. And do you remember Dragnet or Dognet?
Yes. Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
he was
Dragon. Yeah. Dragnet.
the
Yeah.
cop.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, how you pronounce it, but you know what I'm talking about. He was the
Hmm.
cop. Yeah.
And
Oh gosh, a
the
bunch
one
of
I,
other stuff.
yeah, Coneheads and
Coneheads. Thank you. That was probably his. That was probably his biggest movie was Coneheads.
I think so. And
And
like,
what a weird movie to be famous for.
I
Gosh.
know, I know. It was funny. Um, with my um co-host before, whenever I was on that channel, um, we were talking about Coneheads, and we had this troll come in, and he kept trolling us, and he's like, "Well, Jamie, your head looks like a cone head, or you have a cone head or something."
Man,
And he
you're
was
gonna have to
so
mute me. Do you have the ability to mute me? Because I'll go off on these people. I have no filter. I'll tell them how
I
I
just
feel. You gotta
I
help
just
me, Jamie. You gotta mute me.
I just ignored him. I didn't say anything because I'm like, yep, I'm not entertained, giving him even the satisfaction of entertaining him. So
Yeah. Well, you've got thicker skin than I do. Maybe you're a little
but
taller than me. How tall are you?
I don't think I'm taller than anyone.
I'm 5'7".
I'm
So
4'10".
I'm short for a guy. Yeah, you're short too. You're short like my wife. I think she's taller than you too.
I'm sure she is.
I think she's 4'11". I think she's
Well,
4'11".
well, she beat
Yeah.
me by an inch.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I for the rating, I'm gonna go 3.5. Um, and just because death is a real sensitive subject for me too, I guess. I don't know. I felt like it was really, really heavy, you know, and if you're
It's
not in a good state of mind, it's not a movie to watch because it really just dampens your mood. If you're looking for a movie to bring you back up,
That's not the
this is
movie.
not it. This one rises you all the way to the peak, and then it just crashes so
I
hard, and it
I
hurts, and it hurts, and it teaches you a lesson so quickly at the end. You know, had maybe they shown, this is a movie where I could have seen an extra 15 minutes, and because the runtime was great, it was only an hour and 45. It wasn't
Yeah,
bad. So I think I could have seen a young Veda, or I mean an older Veda at the beginning of her doing something, and then at the beginning, and then at the end you see her again, somehow, or something, you know, something like that.
yeah.
Just
Hence,
give us a little bit more after Thomas J dies, because so you don't leave the movie so depressed. You give me another Rising, because that shit, I'm sorry, that movie, it just hit so hard down low, and then it just stagnates to the rest.
uh, hi, Gfo. Yeah, we're talking about My Girl. Um,
It's My
Thanks for
Girl
coming
this
in.
week, yes sir.
Yeah. Ken says he can't stand Dan Aykroyd, but this movie he did well and fit. Yeah, I think he did. Um, and he says this movie is a great movie, makes you laugh, gives you appreciation, gives you some tears. Um, but the other part is like that really makes you start bawling is at the end when he dies and he's in the casket and she's like, he can't see without his glasses, and then she's trying to, I mean,
Yeah, that's the most famous line of the whole movie. It's real
yeah,
sad.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, and I lost my brother when he was 26, and his kids were little, my kids were little, and like, and so it really like reminds me of that time, because like when Alyssa was probably I don't know, 7, 8, probably or 9, somewhere around there, maybe 7, 8, somewhere around there. And when my brother was in the casket, she's like, um oh no, it wasn't my brother, it was Ken's brother that died, that she was even younger. I think she was like 3 or something, because I don't think Kenny was born. I was pregnant with Kenny. So she was like 3. And she goes, Mommy, why is Jesus broken? Because he died in a car accident. And I
Uh,
just, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what to say to her.
yeah.
Um, and so like, it's hard to try to explain to a young kid. I mean, they're a little older in the movie, but yes, My Girl has a message in it for everyone to get from, though. Yes, it does. It's a beautiful message. Yes, G-Full.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pain, grief, acceptance, all your stages, and they come really short. That's my only grief with the movie is that our lesson is learned in the last 25 minutes of the movie, and
mhm.
that's it. Yeah, the rest of it is all character development and more of a love story towards the white or towards Dan. I'm sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis. I can't remember the name, but it was more about their love development more than the more than the kids' development of their life learning. I felt like we could have had more of them. Cut out most of the stuff with Jamie Lee Curtis, even though she's great. I'm not saying that, but
Yeah,
something. I just needed more. I needed more out of Thomas J
yeah,
and Beta.
yeah. And Chief was like, yeah, because that part was very touching. Yes, and yes, Ken. Then she runs to her teacher, the Professor Love, and gets her heart broken again. And the fact that that was after she noticed her, that Jamie Lee Curtis had a ring on, and they're like, oh yeah, we're getting married. So it was like all these things were just crashing down on her. Here's this woman she doesn't really like, now is marrying her dad, and then
Yeah,
the love of her life, the teacher, has a fiance, and then her
yeah.
best friend dies. I mean, and it does teach you a lesson, like G4 was saying, because kids have to go through so much, but can they really, like, sometimes they don't know how to cope with such things, especially when they have to go through all of that as a child.
Yeah, I mean, I never lost a friend like that, but my dad died when I was only 11, so that was grieving for sure. I had to learn how to figure out that, and I never had a real relationship with my father that was, real prominent. It was just I knew I loved him, and I saw him when I saw him. That's all it really was. I don't know much more other than that. So. I
Mm.
understand it a little bit. I get it, but at the same time, she dealt with death, or it wasn't uncommon for her, but she never
Yeah,
dealt with it. Does that make
yeah,
sense? It was
yeah. She's
always around her, but she never had any comprehension of it.
Yeah, because it wasn't a personal. She didn't know the people that was coming in.
It
Yeah,
wasn't personal. It wasn't. it just to her it wasn't much.
Yeah.
It didn't mean anything to her. To her, it was just her dad's job.
Yeah.
That's just what it was.
Well, and Jifa, what two messages do you think they're trying to portray? And then, yeah, and to your point about the she says, at bingo, I just looked around. I'm going to be doing a lot of their makeup reels too. And it's like, yeah,
Why do you think these seats are open?
yeah. And Jifa says the children, for instance, Veda learned to be more appreciative of your parents and guardians. Yes. And Thomas J learned to be appreciative of your friends and those that you care for. Yeah. To the whole point that he's like, oh, she likes me. I'm good, and she'll like me so much more. I got to go get a ring for her, you know. And
Because
he
she was
was.
talking about the ring, and that he was the whole time. All he did was just think of her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a testament to a young man's love. I can relate to that. I would have done the ends of the earth for the person that I felt like I loved in the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And you look back on it now, and before you had any guard up, you had any real emotional damage like that, or you just look back on it and you thought, man, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and it can happen so suddenly, and it just goes to show you, well, especially now, like we talked about last week, if you have allergies, you need to keep the EpiPen on you. And like Ken has allergies and he mows the lawn all the
right.
time. I finally convinced him to get an EpiPen, and he's got one, and he keeps it on him. But it
Well,
took
remember, but we
forever.
talked about this. We talked about
Hmm.
this last week. Remember, this
Yep.
movie's based in 1972,
Yep. Yep.
and the EpiPen wasn't patented for uh,
Like,
sale to people until what was it, 83?
yeah.
I
I,
think.
it, yeah. Gifo sent that article. I forget what it said.
Right, right. Keep going. I can hear you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Gifo said, yeah, he went back into them woods by himself to mess with the bees for his friend that he cared for. He just had to look for that ring for her. Yes. Well, yeah, I know. You're only allergic to the bees, but other people are allergic to other things like especially people with peanut allergies or whatever. Like most people with peanut allergies will have anaphylactic reaction, um like he did, like Thomas J did, because
Mm,
I don't know what it is, but like people, if they have a peanut allergy, they will have an anaphylactic reaction.
hmm
Um, I don't
It's
know what it
bad.
is.
I mean, I've seen a few movies of people like that. I don't know if you're into horror movies. Do you like horror films?
No, if I watch horror, I have to have Ken around.
Does Ken like them?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's seen it. The movie, it came out in like 2015, 2016. It's called Hereditary, and
Oh,
it is just a wild, wild movie. Yeah, I thought it was really good, but gosh, it was scary.
wow.
And there's a scene in it where somebody has a nut allergy in it, and it's just crazy. Ugh.
Yeah, it's it's bad. Yeah, because he knew what that ring meant to her, but along the way, she always told him, "Don't mess with them bees." But Thomas J must have grown a hate for the bees, and he just couldn't resist to just attack the beehive whenever he saw one. Yeah, and
Well,
if you,
the sad. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm done.
I was just like the sad thing. Like whenever she he goes in to tell her what happened, and she just at first she just like you were saying, told him to not mess with those bees. I should go over there and kick him or something, and she just didn't understand what he was trying to tell her.
Yeah.
So sad.
And she's like, no, he's not with us, you know. And
Yeah.
she's like, I told him so. And but what was she, like 10 or something? Maybe no,
Uh,
older than that. 12 maybe.
I think no, she was 11. Because remember she asked her, "How old are you?" She said 11
Oh,
and a half, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we got to have a talk."
oh yeah,
So
oh
yeah,
yeah.
she was 11. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming he was the same age, somewhere in there, 12, 10, 11, somewhere.
Oh, Ken says he was 11 too. So, yeah, it was a defensive mechanism that Thomas J had. Absolutely. It was, I bawled at that movie. Like every time I watch the end, I bawl. And I know it's coming.
I got a confession. I didn't watch the end. I fast forwarded through it.
Because you didn't want to
I
cry.
went to, yeah, I didn't want to do all that. So I fast forwarded through um uh to her reading her poem in the writing
Um,
class, and when we get to the quotes, I'll read that. But we're
well,
actually, wow, we only got 15 minutes left. That's crazy.
yep. All right. So let's get to the
Let's get to the
IMDb
IMDb
page.
page. I was on deck. I had it ready and prepared for us today. All right. Um, Anna Chlumsky played Veda. I don't even know. I don't know any other movies that she's been in.
I don't either.
But other than that, you've got three all stars right there: Macaulay Culkin, Dan Aykroyd, and Jamie Lee Curtis. That's just a
Yep.
great cast on its own. uh, Director Howard Zeef. I don't know who that is. Written by Lawrence Elwani. And wasn't this a book first? An adaptation to a movie? I believe
I
it
don't
was.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but so she's like what's the word that you use to describe somebody that overreacts to something that wasn't that bad?
Dramatic.
Right? They're dramatic, but what's the word? Like they're doing too much. They're it starts with an H.
Hyper,
Uh
well, hypochondriac, but
yeah, hypochondriac. Hypochondriac. Yeah.
that's more medical. Like they're fake. Like they think everything's wrong with them from a medical
Well, that's
standpoint.
Veda. That's Veda, remember?
Mm.
Like that's
Yeah.
like so she uh she always thinks that something's wrong with her.
Oh, yeah.
And Thomas J explains this. He says, uh she's always around death. She's scared of it. So she's like, if you can't beat them, join them, type of thing, and that makes her feel comfortable. So, but you also know that it scares her a lot because whenever she went down there to get her ball, when it went down into the place, she didn't want nothing to do with that. She was scared. You could tell.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna skip the goofs this time, but we'll go. I'll read a few of the trivia, just because we're running out of time here. All right. Jamie Lee Curtis instituted a swear can on set to prevent trucker talk, as Dan Aykroyd called it. Aykroyd said in an interview, it was $5 for this word and $10 for another word, and by the end of the movie, the kids had about $5,000 in there.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
That's cool. Screenwriter Lawrence Elwani said the film was inspired by a childhood friend that lived in a funeral home. Okay. So it wasn't. It was a film. It wasn't a book. The house used as Veda's house was actually a bed and breakfast in Bartow, Florida. It
Mm.
closed in 2013. That's sad. The willow tree seen through the movie is not a real willow tree. Finding a perfect pond with a willow tree was so hard that the creators found a different tree, removed all its branches, and replaced them with fake willow tree branches.
Hmm.
How about that? Uh, the the film's original title was Born Jandis. Decide. I don't even know that word. The producers offered $500 to whichever Imagine Entertainment employee could come up with the best alternative. Most of the film is set in a funeral home, inspiring suggestions including morning glory, like mourning, like sad, uh, in lieu of flowers. That would have been a good name. Uh, and dearly departed. Other alternatives included Veda with a exclamation point, which was rejected because it was sounded like South African uprising and I am a woman. Ultimately, producer Brian Grazer came up with the My Girl. That's
Hmm.
cool.
G-Foot says another lesson you can learn from the movie My Girl. He knew the bees could hurt him, but Thomas J had risked all that to help someone. And Ken says, whatever the latest corpse had, so did she, to your hypochondriac. I don't know what you mean by jaundice, Ken. It was a typical for a child, and if any others that had told her any scary stories about the corpses in the basement, she would just panic. And when that door had closed and when it opened up for her, that, yes, the panic attack. And I think I would too
Right.
if that's got to
Hell
be creepy
yeah.
to live in the funeral home.
Definitely. That would scare the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Sorry. Go on.
Oh no, no, it's okay. So Veda and Thomas J took 15 takes in their kissing scene. It must have been heavy for them.
Well,
Uh,
well, I don't know what they were in real life, but in the movie they're 11. So,
let's see. The film is set in Madison, Pennsylvania. However, it was filmed almost entirely in Florida. Mhm.
hmm, how did they? Well, I
Macaulay
guess.
Culkin's first on-scene kiss.
Well,
Mhm. The fee for the writing class, $35 in summer 1971, is the equivalent of $266 in 2023.
wow.
Wow. The original script was entered in the Nicole Fellowship Screenwriting Contest and didn't get past the first round.
Wow.
Whoa, that makes me sad. Chevy Chase was considered for the role of Harry, the dad. But that would have worked because there's a little bit of comedy in this. I felt a lot of comedy too throughout the movie. If they had
Hmm.
Chevy Chase in there, that would have been a good. I could have believed it.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis also worked together in Trading Places.
Oh, I
Mm.
remember that movie.
Veda doesn't wear a dress at all in the movie until the final scene.
Well,
Mm.
she was portrayed as a tomboy, really.
Right, right. All right. That's pretty much all of them there. Tim Allen and Steve Martin were also considered for the role for the dad. They would have
Oh,
they would
wow.
have been good too.
Yeah.
Let's go to the quotes here. Because I really want to read I want to read her line from the end of the movie at her writing class. Weeping Willow, with your tears running down, why do you always weep and frown? Is it because he left you one day? Is it because he could not stay? On your branches he would swing. Do you long for your do you long for the happiness that day would bring? He found shelter in your shade. You thought his laughter would never fade. Weeping willow, stop your tears. There is something to calm your fears. You think death has ripped you up forever apart, but I know he'll always be in your heart.
Yeah, that's the
Man,
poem she read, and it was a
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful poem. And that made me cry even more after she read the poem, and you know how she was trying to overcome the grief and everything else.
Hmm.
That was a beautiful
Very
poem.
sad. Hmm. Wear his glasses. He can't see without his glasses.
Mhm.
It's sad. Uh, oh, whenever she, after finding out she got her first period, get out of here and don't come back for 5 to 7 days.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's what we should tell everybody. Get out of here.
Miss Sennett, don't worry. Thomas J will be all right. My mother will take care of him.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna make y'all cry. There's a lot in here. If you'd like to read them, go ahead. I'll give you the last little bit here. We got a runtime of an hour and 42 minutes. Original release date November 27th, 1991. Uh, the budget for this movie was $17 million. Opening weekend, it almost made its money back at $12 million.
Wow.
And gross worldwide, it made $59 million. So
Wow.
total success, great movie, and I'm sure to this day it's probably up in the 100 to 120 million somewhere, maybe more,
Yeah.
just because of all the streaming and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. That's our movie this week, and we already picked next week. What was it?
Dallas Buyer Club
Yes, thank you.
with
Yes, very
Matthew
good movie.
McConaughey.
I'm so excited to talk about that one.
Yes, G-Full. She seemed to go with like pe- people that weren't popular. She seemed like a very good person. Someone that had cared to come knock on her door to talk to her after Thomas. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
When
and
bad
she's a
things
sweet
happen,
girl,
you
but you
yeah.
that is the same girl that noticed she was with those mean girls at the beginning, walking with them whenever they were making fun of her.
Hmm.
She said we should invite her, or and or she invited her, and she's like she shouldn't, or it's that girl. She realized they were mean to her, and
Yeah,
that was the one that came and visited her. That was really sweet. I like that a lot
yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. Um. So yeah, we're gonna watch Dallas Buyers Club. We shouldn't have picked two
Well,
sad movies though in a row, but oh well.
that's not as sad, I don't think. I think that one's more of a revel. We don't have to see the actual, other than Ray Ann's. I'm not. Well, let's not get into it if
Yeah.
nobody's seen it yet. So,
Okay. So Dallas Buyers Club next week.
yes,
Um.
I believe
And
it is on Netflix right now, guys. So if you have a Netflix account, it should be free.
okay. And let's do the riddle of the night. And this is the easy one for you guys.
Let's
Well,
hear it.
what has words but never speaks?
A dictionary, a book.
A book. Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Any last words? Ken will get me my quote.
I appreciate you guys staying in the chat. This just in big sports news again, another big trade buzz. The Warriors are acquiring Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. This is a big blockbuster trade. A lot of stuff is going on in the NBA right now. So uh, this is great. That just happened just now while we were in our podcast. So we'll see how that goes over there with Chef Curry and Jimmy Buckets stirring it up.
Yep. And
That's all I
thank
got.
you.
I love you guys. Thank you for being in the chat. Love you very much. We will see you next week.
And yes, and thank you everyone for being interactive. I appreciate you so much. And remember, let's pray for Paprika, that she's gonna
Yes.
be that she is doing well. And I appreciate all of you. Remember, you're all beautiful inside and out. Don't let anyone make you think differently. And the quote of the night comes from really Ken Jalahara Nehru. And they said, what we really are matters more than what other people think of us. Yes, great quote. I just can't say, I probably butchered the name. And you all have a very
Cut
great
that
night.
all up, girl.
And we'll watch Dallas Buyers Club. Have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Jamie. See ya.